Hey guys, so I'm back with another video. Last time we were at 66k and I did say that if we can't hold 64.5 that we would go down towards 62.5, and we actually found support at 60k and so far have rallied back up and denied off 64.5 again. So how did we know that this would happen? We knew this would happen because of a few things. First of all, we see this trend break right here. And as soon as this happened, this put in my mind that, okay, that it's time for a retracement. And then I use key indicators such as the Ichimoku cloud, Keltner channels, EMAs, as well as the stochastic RSI and the RSI to understand what went wrong. And you can see over here, if we do some sort of confluence right here, pull this trend up, where we broke on the RSI, when we broke the RSI uptrend, we broke the price uptrend. So I keep telling you guys this, the RSI does not lie. Like, this is an underutilized tool. People don't know how to properly use it, but if you follow a trend-based analysis like myself, RSI can be your ultimate guide. So now, how else could we have known that 60k is where we would get a bounce? And for that, I would use this pitchfork. So after doing a bunch of analysis, I think that this pitchfork is the best suited for our current trend right now. As you can see, the amount of reactions off the median line and how it's held as support and resistance at the same time. So first, earlier, this was a big resistance, broke through it, but it was a false out, but now we're using it as support. This is a good thing. This is pretty bullish. This means our upper bound is, again, that 68k, 69k region, while our lower bound sits at about 52k, 52 and a half. So, utilizing this pitchfork, we can kind of gauge the rest of Bitcoin's price action. But then again, this is a longer term pitchfork. We're pulling it from March to July, and then, the end of July. So this is an extremely longer term pitchfork, and this could take some time to develop. So for the shorter traders out there, we can use this pitchfork right here. So it pulls from the recent uptrend to the recent 66.4 high, and then to the pullback around 60k. And using the shift setting, again, I only use the original and the shift. Using these two settings, we could see that this is where we would have had our deny. Okay, so how did we know that 64.5 was going to be the area of denial? So not only did we have confluence with the median line, if we look at the daily Keltner, it confluences with this median line as well at the same region, 64.5. And at the time, the Ichimoku clouds, it looked like if we were to break above 63k, this would definitely be the region we'd head to next. As you guys can see, when you see straight horizontal Ichimoku cloud lines like this, where it's a very thin cloud and then the cloud swaps from this green to red, so these are also indications of like areas of contention. Like, this is where price needs to break above. This is kind of playing as that resistance or that support. Like over here, this was the support, and now over here, again, we're coming back to that resistance. So let's start by looking at the 3-hour. So as we can see, the stochastic just did a double top, and this is kind of a bullish double top because over here, price was at around 60k, but then back on the second push up, now we're about 64.5. So this is a bullish indication, and it could mean that price wants to keep pushing up after we retrace a little bit. And even looking at the RSI here, like if we go up here, open this up, we can see that this kind of downtrend that we had, it got broken and turned into support. Now this is a really, really good thing. When you see RSI break out a downtrend, it means that price will follow sooner or later. So essentially, since we broke out of this downtrend, I think we've got room to keep on going higher as long as we maintain this uptrend. So if we stay above the moving average on the RSI, we should be good to stay above this downtrend and push up to a higher price target. We can also further support this by looking at the daily RSI and the daily stochastic. Daily stochastic has bottomed out at 60.5 and is pushing back up. I think it's going to go for a double bottom here though, because the 3-hour is pretty oversold while the daily is overbought while the daily is oversold. And over here you guys can see the last time we were at this level we were at 52 and a half, and now we're at 60k. So that is again clear bullish divergence. Same RSI, higher price. Looking at the daily as well, I told you guys that either we maintain this moving average or we'll come down to this uptrend. And guess where we bounced? Right here, we hit the uptrend on the daily, 60k, and now we pushed back up. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like I tell you this every time, the RSI does not lie. So if we can again push through this kind of downtrend we have going on, we can again push higher. We just need to push through and then, make higher RSI levels, stay in that uptrend, and price will follow. We can even see this on the weekly, and I know weekly plays out on a longer time frame, but I think it's still important to look at. On the weekly RSI, we can see price had been staying under this moving average, and now finally broke out and has used it as support. This again, another bullish indicator. So I think if we can stay above this moving average and it kind of curves up like this, and RSI pushes up, then I think that would be the most like bullish indication that price wants to keep pushing higher. We are in October, and I know there's a lot of this sentiment going around about UPTOBER, and I don't want to like push that as well. But I mean, from a technical standpoint, it looks good to go up. It just needs to develop in a certain way for it to keep on that bias. So before we move forward with looking at the indicators, I'm going to introduce some more uh, points of contention for you guys. Number one, 63.5K. So this is one of those interim key prices that, if we range below like this, that's bearish, but if we range above using it as support, that's bullish. So just something to keep in mind when you see a gray line between two reds, that's kind of how you want to see this. 66K, this should be red. Again, we want price to push above this part to get to 68.4. And yeah, 67.3, 68.4, those are the remaining two. We have seen denies at 67.3 come back for a push up and then hit the 68K mark. But generally, just remember, we're bullish as long as we stay over 64.5. That's the threshold. When we start ranging below 64.5, we usually end up at around the 50Ks. And if we range above 64.5, we usually end up around 70K. So just a general rule, keep that in mind. If we can't push above 64.5, anything I say is invalidated. So now that we have this in mind, let's take a look at the Ichimoku clouds and the Keltner channels. So we can see on the daily Keltner that we had this rejection. So Keltner channels on the higher time frames are extremely good for gauging support, bullish levels, and bearish levels. So as you guys can see over here, 64.5 played that kind of bullish level. Our support seems to be sitting once again 62.5K. I'm kind of sounding like a broken record, but I'm telling you, these price points are extremely important to Bitcoin. That's why I keep mentioning them, And you can see all these confluences, you can see the reactions, they happen there for a reason. You guys can't really see it, but hold on, let me try to change this. Let's make it purple. Yeah. Okay. As you guys can see right here, 60K holds the bottom of the Keltner. So if we range up, hold 62.5 as support, and push out, that's an extremely possible scenario. However, if we start breaking below the 60.5K mark, you know, that's where we run into trouble, as you guys can clearly see. However, the most important part is to stay above 62.5 because this baseline will catch up and this will serve as that major point of contention. We want to see it above 62.5, but it's totally possible for a bear trap to form. We bounce off the top of this Ichi, that 60K region again. Like this is a little bit more, 59.5. I think it's possible a wick down there, but we would just need to hold this region to keep going back up and to not fall into a bear trap. So looking at the 3-hour, we can see again it supports the same thing. We have to stay above 62.5. That would be our bullish price level, and if we're really feeling bearish, we'll break out and go towards 60K for that bounce. Aligns with this lower parallel of the pitchfork. I know this chart is getting kind of messy now. Let me kind of clean it up. You guys can see it aligns. Price goes up here, fails to hold, goes down here, wicks down, and then we start seeing another push up. That's also possible. However, that's really not the ideal scenario. So we want to hold this uptrend that we've been holding, hold 62.5. Again, you guys can kind of see that confluence, and then push through of 64.5 to keep going higher. So now that we know our support levels, where is our resistance going to be? So for that, I look at the weekly Keltner channels. As you guys can see, that support lining up once again with that 68K mark. And if we swap this to original, where is that median line? The 68K mark. Again, I think that price, as long as we hold this 62.5K region, we probably will go to 68K. We just need to break out of 64.5, and then once again 66K. Once we do that, we should be good for more up. As you guys can see, even if I draw this little downtrend right here, price holds at 64.5. Like we need to break over this 66K for us to be bullish. This is the bullish breakout point. We break out of this, then we'll go visit 68K, and from there we can see where price would develop. But I think 68K is definitely on the table. It does look pretty bullish for now, on the higher time frames at least. Looking at the EMAs now though, you guys can see we have that kind of support right here on the 9 EMA, held the 20, we held the 200. These are all very good indications. On the 3-hour, we're getting a massive angel cross right here. This is huge. On the weekly as well, we had the 20 EMA and the 9 EMA do an angel cross. Again, we hold this, once again, 62.5K mark. We should be good for going up more. Once again, so just watch out, stay above 62.5. We want to stay above this 3-hour baseline. We want to stay above this daily baseline, and we want to stay above this weekly baseline. On the 3-hour, if you guys start seeing Bitcoin push back into the Ichi cloud below 62.5, you guys can expect it to go even lower. On the daily, this point would be at about that 60K to 59.5 region, and again aligns with this median line as well as the weekly baseline. As for the bullish scenario, our price target is still the same, 68.4, and I think that if we start pushing above this, we could hit an all-time high, um, but we'll get there. Once we get there, I don't want to make too crazy of a prediction right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know if there's something you want me to cover in the next video. I do have a new series coming out, so stay tuned for that. I'm working on it a little bit more. You know, I want it to come out nicer than these price updates do. So I am working on that behind the scenes. I feel like that's gonna really blow up this channel, garner a lot of support, you know, put some education out there that's very much needed, and help people take control of their own financial decisions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do join my Discord. I do post regular price updates. I've also created an X or a Twitter account. I post price updates there as well. So if you guys could please follow and join that Discord. Everything is completely free. I don't charge for anything. I don't want to charge for anything, nor will I charge for anything. I'd even do altcoin predictions in my Discord, so if you guys do want that, please do join the Discord. It really does help out a lot. I hope you guys have a great day. Goodbye.